Hi, welcome back, my dear student. In this lecture here, we are going to be defining a method. All right. So the way we do that is super simple. But before we do that first, let's go ahead and do a save as on this document because I want you to have this for your reference. All right. So let's do save as. I'm going to use my keyboard shortcuts, Command S, Shift, and excuse me, call this class methods. Save. All right. So you're going to have two files now. Let's take this out of here, and actually, you know what, let's just leave it there for now, and we can just comment this out. All right, so how do we define a method of a class? Well, it's super simple. As a matter of fact, methods are just functions, and so we use the same thing. We use the same name, we use the same rules for making methods. You see, a method is just a function that is declared inside a class. And that's the whole reason why we call it a method, because it's a method of the class. We can't call it a function unless it's by itself. So remember this. We call functions methods when they are inside the class, and we call them functions when they are outside. Right? So we follow the same rules. For example, we create a method here, right, called greeting. That's it. So you see, it's the same keyword that we use function and whatever name we want to give it with parentheses and curly brackets. Remember that a class is like a blueprint of an object, right? You get the properties and then you get the methods, which are functions or behaviors of that object, which later on I will show you how to complete. All right. So that's it for this. And also um, we also have to know that PHP keeps tracks of methods, so you can find this method somewhere in PHP. All right. So if you go outside the class right here, as a matter of fact, I'm just gonna take that off. It's bothering me a little bit. All right. So let's say, for example, I want to find out if this method exists somewhere. Right. So I just create a variable, just like I did with a class definition, or we did, because you must be following me. All right. Make sure that you practice by following me. Don't just watch me. Go ahead and write it down. That way you can get practice on this. All right. So I'm just gonna say the methods, create a variable, and then I'm just gonna use a built-in function called get class methods. All right. So this is gonna grab all the methods for this specific class, and we have to give it a parameter, and the parameter is the name of the class. All right. And this will, of course, get all the methods for this specific class and put it inside this variable. All right, now this becomes like an array, because if we have more methods, all right, this function will save it in here. But we can access a variable, right, with many different things inside. A variable only can hold one part of information, not multiple values like an array. So we need a for each loop, and just like we did last time. The only thing that we change on this is just the function, right? We need a different function to get methods, of course. So the methods as method, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. Hopefully I don't lose it for the rest of the course. And then we just echo this out. So I'm just gonna echo method, right? Make sure that you put a concatenation, a break there, so that way when it comes out, it's nicely there. So let's just go ahead and create another one just so you can see it better. Greeting 2, right? So I just copy and pasted that one and created a different function here, a different method. And I think this is gonna be fun, right? So let's go ahead and see this in the browser. I'm gonna double click here, and this is gonna open this window here, which will open one of my other monitors. And what I did was that I actually dragged this and created a shortcut in my desktop for the folder OOP, so that way we just double click it so we can see it. So I'm just gonna click on class methods, and as you can see, we have the two different methods there, for our class, right? So PHP keeps track of methods or functions, if you want to call them that. We should call them methods because they are inside the class. All right. So this is how you define a method inside a class, and that's it. Thank you so much, and I see you in the next lecture.